The Shadow Minister, Dame Harriett Baldwin.
Well, thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker, and can I thank the Minister for advance sight of his statement and warmly welcome, I don't often say these words, the decision that the Minister has announced today, because it sounds like they've abandoned the risk that was in the proposals that they shutter thousands of local post offices, especially in rural areas. And so it is very much a relief for villages and high streets that the government has listened to the people who engaged with the consultation, listened to the 180,000 people who signed our petition and heard the calls from the readers of the Mail on Sunday, the Express, the Telegraph and other media outlets who were all outraged by the possibility that the government might close their much valued local post office. And by keeping the minimum network size at 11,500 branches, as it was throughout the 14 years that we were in government, and keeping all the geographical access criteria, the Minister has avoided a U-turn. In fact, I would describe what he's done as avoiding a chasm that was opening up in the road in front of him and avoiding it niftily. The campaign that we led showed how important it is to voice the concerns of the vulnerable, those who are digitally excluded, and the small businesses who rely so much on our precious post office network. And can I add my thanks to the hard work of every postmaster and postmistress across Britain who keeps that network going. However, it's not all sweetness and light from me today, Madam Deputy Speaker. The post office network, like so many retailers, faces a £45 million hike in their taxes because of national insurance. Many post offices are also seeing increases in their business rates of over 100%. In fact, the chairman of the Post Office, Nigel Railton, was clear when he said that these rising costs from national insurance and the national living wage were exactly why the business needed a fresh start, because you can't claim to support the backbone of the network while breaking its back with tax hikes at the same time. Madam Deputy Speaker, we on this side of the House have always stood up for our nation's high streets, and we would introduce a permanent 100% business rate relief for retail, leisure and hospitality businesses whose premises are under the rateable value threshold of 110,000. Now, I've got a few questions for the Minister. He announced a requirement that at least 50% of the network must be full-time and full service. I believe the number today is 79%, so isn't that a downgrade, and what does he expect from the other 29%? Could he also confirm that no small rural branches will be consolidated and replaced by city centre hubs under the guise of this new 50% full service requirement? Would he please expand on what the minimum service he would expect these smaller branches to deliver? The Minister also committed to the technology transformation programme to replace the Horizon system within the next 5 years. I heard the first 2 years of funding, but could he give us some detail on how the current system will be maintained after those first 2 years? He mentioned the importance of the post office network with the number of banks that are closing branches up and down this country. Has there been a new specific agreement made with the banks to provide additional support to post office branches where banks are closing? And what update can he give the House about the discussions with Fujitsu and their financial contribution towards post office redress? But in closing, Madam Deputy Speaker, clearly the Minister has been forced to listen. He's been forced to do a pre-U-turn, Madam Deputy Speaker, on the proposals to reduce the size of our precious post office network. He's been forced to admit that our high streets do deserve better than the managed decline that was a risk under the previous proposals, and this is a victory for all our constituents.